I'd have to say what I really enjoy about Happy State Bank is the morale that we have. Part of that goes back to the ownership that we talked about. Everybody understands as an owner, we're going to think like owners and not like managers, and we truly have each other's back each and every day. So that just the teamwork, everyone works so hard for each other, knowing that the ultimate goal is that each one of our customers is going to leave this bank knowing that we have given them everything we have as bankers to exceed any expectations they had out of our bank.
Well, let's go ahead and call this meeting to order. Brian will be here shortly. We'll continue, but it's really a pretty simple agenda today.
Hold on, it's so simple the recorder's not working.
Karen, you did. We'll certify that. No, we can play George's tape.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have met the technology and it is ours.
Okay. Just for moments.
Just for mere moments.
Or would you go ahead and go through this, Mr. Manager?
Thank you, Mayor. I'd be glad to. We'll start with item number 2, Resolution 2011 Goals for the City of Amarillo's Disadvantaged Business Enterprise Program. Again, related to the Transit Department, similar to what we did here several weeks ago. Any questions or comments? My DBE expert, Ms. Cuddy, who is celebrating her 31st anniversary today, is here to help us out.
Of life, 31st anniversary of life. Happy birthday.
I was going to suggest marriage.
Oh, no.
She's celebrating her 37th anniversary of her birth.
No.
She got married when she was 6.
Stroll her out of the cradle.
Yeah. Not I. Her husband.
To work for the city.
I understand.
Yeah,
She's been with the city 42
I've been
years.
married 31 years. Seriously?
yeah, we both started at our respective jobs back.
Questions, comments,
About
thoughts?
something important like DBE.
Yeah, talk about that.
Well, because our transit system is almost entirely federally funded, we have to follow certain rules about disadvantaged business enterprises where purchasing opportunities and contracting opportunities are not necessarily targeted, but open to participation by disadvantaged businesses, which can either be minority-owned, women-owned, or owned by low-income persons. And we set annual goals that we try to meet. There are some new guidelines out, and so our plan had not been revised in several years. And so the last time we were reviewed by the regional office, they told us we needed to update our plan. And although a couple of weeks ago you approved our goal for this coming year, we had to come back in and adopt a whole new plan. So all of those goals have been folded in
to reflect all the new federal changes.
Okay.
More cost, ice the cross needs to dot.
And next, I guess, is appointments.
Next, Mayor, is appointments. Before you today, your Construction Advisory and Appeals Board. As a reminder, this is the board that, of course, looks at, reviews, if necessary, recommends modifications to your various different aspects of the codes, being, of course, building code, electrical codes, mechanical, plumbing, etc. This board does have required representation by different trades. The appointment today is to be held by a gentleman or a lady holding a master electrician's license. Van Dryden has resigned. We're the guilty party. He has gone to work for us as our chief electrical inspector.
Y'all keep doing this.
We keep doing this, Mr. Allen and Mr. Dryden. And a recommended nominee who is willing to accept the appointment, should you so choose, as Mr. D. Barry Osborne, Osborne. Mr. Osborne is currently employed by B&W Pentex. He's an NEC, or National Electrical Code Inspector for them, and he does hold a master's license.
Okay.
Someone started it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, if you give me his information, I'll thank him.
He'd be glad to. I've got all of his contacts.
The other two were holding up on housing for a while.
We are holding on the Amarillo Housing Finance Corporation. Today, you have construction advisory and approval. We will probably remove Potter Randall, president of the board of directors, next week and going forward. And on your zoning board of adjustment, they are meeting this week or next week?
Next week.
They're meeting next week. We anticipate that they'll come forward with some vacancies and some recommendations for you all to consider at that point.
Okay.
That's the board that does have some level of judicial authority. They can make decisions on behalf of the city, and those decisions do not then come back to the city commission. If they are challenged or appealed, or actually appealed to the district court, the board meets very infrequently, but it's a board that has both regular and alternate members. Traditionally, practice has been if a regular member resigns, to consider taking an alternate and moving them up and then making your new member the alternate. You have alternates because those few occasions that they do meet, they have got to meet. They have to have a quorum, they have to meet, they have to make a decision. Okay?
Okay.
That was mine. D as in D period, very possible.
D as in D period, Barry, B-A-R-R-Y.
Okay.
Okay, then we have consent agenda.
Mayor, consent agenda, item A, bus stop improvements, phase 3. We've seen this twice before. This continues the effort to install the new benches. This also incorporates all of the required upgrades due to the Americans with Disability Act and Texas Architecture, Texas Accessibility Standard, TOS and ADA. These benches will go at different locations on routes 2, 6, 7, 8. Again, 80% funded by FTA, 20% local funding, and all funds are available.
Busy on Arthur Street. Yeah.
Busy, and it's a pretty substantial change. It's not inexpensive. In fact, it is expensive to do these, but in many cases you're having to come outside of the right-of-way to do work. You're having to move irrigation systems, put up small retainers to hold back yard lawns and other improvements.
The bench is the least part of this.
It's absolutely the smallest part of it, the bench. I know in at least one location some additional work is being done so that maybe we'll be able to come in and add a shelter structure in the future and not have to do anything else other than put it up. But I think we need to expand the availability of the shelters. The question is what kind and type of shelter. The big Lexian semi-enclosed ones we're using are pretty tough. They're hard to keep up. They're very subject to vandalism. They don't fare well on the weather. Riders need something. We're just trying to explore some different options to see what we can do.
Yeah, they sort of look sort of lonely now. There's something new and they just stand out.
The one up on I-40 in Bell at the corner of that Albertsons, and it looked like that the day it was installed.
She said we have permission to go ahead.
Yeah, I apologize.
That's
We
fine.
just, they just don't.
They don't
have
cooperate.
any
They don't pay
respect.
attention.
They don't have any respect for what you're
They don't really care about bus stops.
We didn't
About
have-
themselves.
The agenda isn't really deep today, so we went ahead, because you'll catch up.
You take off.
We're on the consent agenda.
We're nearly finished.
We're on bus improvements, but I don't
You know,
think you'll have any problem
they
catching up.
send us an agenda if you want to bring yours sometime.
Mayor, if I could, I'd move us to item B
He's
before
got
this
it.
goes
He always has.
further downhill.
Okay.
Let's move on.
Thank you very much.
Let's move on.
Mayor, item B, this is kind of the second half project we brought you 2 weeks ago where we were replacing the sound system in the auditorium. This is the back end work that needs to be done both on the existing electrical system and to run some new electrical to make that one work. Okay. Mayor, item C, Civic Center auditorium, and the lobby of the auditorium, carpet replacement. LVR Carpet Center, we have had good luck using not only the product they provide, but the service a lot. In fact, all of the carpet that's in the downtown library and the expansion to the downtown library was done that way. This will do the carpet in the auditorium, the lobby, and it also will replace the treads where you step as you walk down that, either the center aisle or the side ones, and then the edging on the side of it. The carpet that's in there is not original. I don't know how old it is, but it's old and it's in poor shape.
We had a lawsuit for last time we replaced the 16 carpet in the lobby.
Seriously, why?
It didn't stick. These replaceable squares.
Uh,
It was factory defect. LVR was the vendor on that one, and they were very cooperative with us, and so the city and LVR were co-plaintiffs against the manufacturer and settled. But I'm sorry, it just reminded me of a bad memory there.
Well,
I saw LVR carpet.
How many years ago
at the
was
Civic
that?
Center, quite a ways back, but it was in the lobby area.
But they took care of it.
They did. Yeah, they were.
You know, the one thing, I mean, it's sort of off track, but one thing I've never understood is the steps in the auditorium, because it's so awkward to walk up and down. You have to take that 1.5 step, you know, to be able to go up or down. I mean, just that has to, for everybody, not just short people.
you're a mind reader.
No, it's just awkward, but anyway.
I
that's the way
agree
it
with
is.
you, Lily, and I'm tall.
Yeah.
I
Well, you can't just go up this way, you have to go.
You have the ones in the Coliseum that are half steps apart.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that?
Maybe that's how they split it.
They got the math correct if you add them both together.
Yeah,
They're
you're
not
right,
about
to
two.
cut corners.
Those are not even
ADA.
ADA compatible. Okay,
Okay.
next one.
Item D, the tuberculosis prevention.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, easy for you to say. Prevention and control grant. This is part of the operations. This is not the surveillance and screening that we had, I believe, last week. This has been reduced by a little over $17,000, although we do have strong indication from dishes that funding will be restored throughout the year. And remember, the other one is actually an increase, largely due to the initial in-processing that comes in. Questions?
E and F.
E and F. Item E, this is the annual Texas Traffic Safety Grant. This comes to us from TxDOT to the police department. It is focused on certain targeted offenses, those being driving while intoxicated, general speed enforcement, and then seatbelt and child safety seatbelt enforcement. For the DWI and the speed enforcement efforts, we do various different metrics to tell them where we have the highest rates of occurrence, and then that's where we focus the additional efforts, which is primarily overtime and directed patrol. This is also where you'll see some of the unmarked Crown Victorias out there in traffic enforcement. Okay. You see that has a match, and not quite a 50-50 match, but substantial. Next, item F, approval firefighter fatigue uniforms annual contract. These are the blue and blue uniforms that you see the men and women wearing. These are not the bunker gear. They're not actually what they wear going into the fire. This is what they wear at the house, so to speak. Use this to both replace existing uniforms and to equip new firefighters as they come online. Mayor, Commission, any questions on the agenda as presented? One thing I would bring up under item B, number 9, staff report on streetlights in the vicinity of Southwest 2nd and Madison. I had that on there last week. That was my fault for not bringing that up. You were approached by a lady indicating that the streetlights in her area were probably not all functioning correctly. We have been through that area. The street lights are in very good shape right now. We will keep an eye on it. They do kind of come on and off. It's not the exact same schedule, and a lot of that's just the function of how those photo eyes and then how the different light bulbs work. The original lights were all mercury vapor. They cannot be replaced with mercury vapor, so you put a different light in and it warms up and comes on and turns off at different timing.
Were those indeed though off in her area?
They were not. Indeed off in that area. I do have a map if anybody would like to see it that shows the coverage in that area. The city, through a community development project many years ago, that area was very underserved. with streetlights. It now has the same density of coverage as any other area in town, so there's basically one on every block.
Did staff make any contact with her, let her know, or did she ask for us to get back to her?
We've had additional contact with her.
Okay.
Wasn't necessarily
Okay.
what she wanted to visit about.
Okay.
Okay, Mayor, if we could, we do have a new item to bring before you in closed session. So, Marcus, if you would read us in with number 10,